Cheers. Hi, I am with Rick Ouellette, talking about residential schools. Hi, Rick.
Hi.
Okay. So, can you tell me what residential schools are?
Residential schools in Canada were schools that were enacted by government legislation that forced Aboriginal children to attend, sometimes on reserve and close to communities and sometimes away from us.
Okay. Do you personally know someone who went to one?
I know a fair number of people who've gone to residential schools. Yes, yeah. Because the last school closed in 1984, that there are numerous people in Canada now. Yeah.
What is their experience on it?
The experience has changed. I think like any schools, some of them are more progressive than others. So I do know people that sort of had very bad and harsh experiences in residential school. But I think the most common tragedy about residential schools, especially the ones that were away from the communities, was that it was kids be taken away from their parents and being forced to learn another language and forced to adopt to another culture, religious practice, and we're still really healing from that. A lot of families are still healing from that. So I think it's more about this attempt to really assimilate or end Aboriginal culture. I think that's a very common experience. Yeah.
Do you think that their experience in residential schools has affected or changed their personality or how they interact with others? If so, how?
Again, it depends on, because I know a lot of people that have gone that there's a variety of experience. So for some people, there's a lot of healing that's involved, and sometimes that's generational healing. So, for example, if your parents have gone to residential school and they didn't learn the cultural way of raising you, then you're affected by it, and that sort of there's generational effects. So I think it's sort of thinking about the right way to answer that question is that I think today we're still dealing with how Aboriginal people reclaim lost parts of their culture.
Okay. When was the first time you learned about residential schools, and how old were you?
I always knew because in my community, my elders specifically avoided being labeled Indian so that their kids wouldn't have to go to residential school. Yeah. So I always knew about it.
Okay. What were your initial thoughts and reactions when you learned about this?
I was really fortunate because I grew up in a culture, and even the elders that I work with now, not only didn't they not go to residential school, many of them didn't even